A pleasant morning to all and a warm welcome to all the dignitaries, delegates, participants and dear students for this international e-conference on significance of research in mass media. I, Duhita Joshi, faculty of BAMMC, extend a heartfelt welcome to you all for this international e-conference organized by ZSCT'S Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College, Kandivli East, Mumbai in association with Tirak Maharashtra Vidyapeeth, Pune. ZSCT'S Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College is located in Kandivli East, Mumbai. Mumbai, as we all know it as City of Dreams, is also a capital of Maharashtra and a financial capital of India. Before we commence with the introduction of Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College, I would like to introduce you all to the University of Tirak Maharashtra Vidyapeeth, Pune. Let us welcome our guest of honor, the Vice Chancellor of Tirak Maharashtra Vidyapeeth, Pune, Dr. Gitali Tirak. Tirak Maharashtra Vidyapeeth is a deemed university in Gultekri, Pune, Maharashtra. It was established in 1921 at the suggestion of Mahatma Gandhi and named after Indian independence movement activists. The motto of this university is Vidya Bodhakari Yashaha Sukhahari Vidya Gurunam Guruvi. That is, knowledge is a secret treasury and a bestower of success and happiness. Now, let us look at ZSCT'S Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College. Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College is also known as TSDC, comprises of 11 courses, namely BSc Hospitality Studies, BAMMC, that is BA in Multimedia and Mass Communication, BA in Culinary Arts, BSc Information Technology, BSc Interdisciplinary Microbiology, BMS, BSc Computer Science, BCom Accounting and Finance, BCom in Banking and Insurance, BSc Aeronautics Mechanical, and BSc Aeronautics Avionics, which encourages students to pursue their dreams in the field they are passionate about and polish their skills throughout their academic career. Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College in a short span has a record of groundbreaking achievements in every field and has goals of setting international standards in arena of education. Skill development, entrepreneurial expertise, industry alliance and collaboration with foreign universities are just a few examples of our efforts for providing the best opportunities to the learners and their mentors. Now let us take a virtual tour of the college. Now, let us take a look at the achievements by Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College. We have received the Best Institute Award in the International E-Conference in UK in the year 2021. Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College has also received an ISO certificate. This college has also received a certificate by Government of India, Ministry Resource Development, Department of Higher Education, Statistics Development and New Delhi for successfully uploading the data of All India Survey on Higher Education. Now, I would like to add a little about BA in Multimedia and Mass Communication, also known as BAMMC. BAMMC is a Mumbai University affiliated course which provides opportunities for students to explore creative side and set a benchmark in the media field. Securing BAMMC degree, students can explore themselves in various fields such as digital marketing, advertising and journalism, VFX, animation, print, electronic, out of home, and much more. Thus, Indian media industry is an impressive growth path and promising career choices ahead. Now, let us take a look at the activities by BAMMC department. So, we conduct many activities for students from media perspective, so the students are trained to become confident and determined in the outside world. You can see the activities on the screen. We have introduced a media room in college for the students, so they can gain a practical knowledge on media related activities. Also, we have launched a media handbook, and similarly, we have conducted various university and district level workshops, webinars, seminars, and conferences on different topics so the students gain 360-degree knowledge. We integrate day-to-day interactive lectures with many appealing initiatives and activities in the curriculum to upgrade students' talent required to explore in the field of media. Now, let us move to our International Conference 2022. TSDC International E-Conference on Significance of Research in Media is organized by IQAC and Department of BA in Multimedia and Mass Communication in association with TSDC Maharashtra Vidyapeeth Pune. Research is the primary step required in any field, and it serves as the foundation of a successful strategy. Without research, an activity is incomplete, and with various fields involving and investing in research and development as a part of basic systems, it is necessary to understand what role does research play and what significance does it hold in the field of mass media. This international conference explores various arenas of the mass media to understand how research functions in each of these sectors, be in journalism, advertising, television programming, social media marketing, consumer behavior, and much more. Our conference is blessed with the support of esteemed dignitaries as chief patrons. Now let me introduce the chief patron, Honorable Shri B.K. Singh Sir, Chairman of Thakur Educational Trust. The Thakur Educational Group comprises of three trusts, namely Thakur Educational Trust, Jagru Singh Charitable Trust, and Jagru Singh Educational Trust, managed by Thakur family, which runs 18 institutes in Kandivali suburban. Educated second generation of Thakur family under the able leadership of Mr. V.K. Singh Sir, Chairman of Thakur Education Group, saw the need of quality education and decided to fulfill the long-cherished dream of their elders to start a school in Kandivali East. This ZSCT'S Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College is presently run by patron Honorable Shri Rajesh Singh Sir, who is the CEO of ZSCT'S Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College. Now, I request everyone to join for the national anthem. I now request everyone to join for the Isha Savan.
गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्र
Now we are going to listen a Maharashtra Git.
ही माय भूमी ही जन्मभूमी ही कर्मभूमी अमुची महावंदनीय अति प्राणप्रिय ही माय मराठी अमुची ही माय भूमी ही जन्मभूमी ही कर्मभूमी अमुची महावंदनीय अति प्राणप्रिय ही माय मराठी अमुची हा अमुचा आहे बाणा ही अमुची आहे बोली अस्मानी झळके भव्य पताका भगव्या हजरी पटक्याची महाराष्ट्र भूमी ही जन्मभूमी ही कर्मभूमी अमुची महावंदनीय अति प्राणप्रिय ही माय मराठी अमुची राकट देशा कणखर देशा दगडाच्या देशा प्रणाम माझा घ्यावा हे श्री महाराष्ट्र देशा भीमा वरदा कृष्ण कोयना भद्रा गोदावरी एकपणाचे भरती पाणी मातीच्या घागरी योग्यांची अन संतांची भक्तांची माळकऱ्यांची ही देव देशन धर्मासाठी प्राण वेचणाऱ्यांची योद्ध्यांची अन वीरांची तलवारीच्या पात्याची देशाचे रक्षण करण्यासाठी जीव खर्चणाऱ्याची ही भूमी सप्तसुरांची रंगांची अष्टकलांची काव्याची शास्त्र विनोदाची ही भूमी साहित्याची महाराष्ट्र भूमी ही जन्मभूमी ही कर्मभूमी अमुची महावंदनीय अति प्राणप्रिय ही माय मराठी अमुची ही माय भूमी ही जन्मभूमी ही कर्मभूमी अमुची महावंदनीय अति प्राणप्रिय ही माय मराठी अमुची.
Thank you students for this beautiful song. I now request Urvashi and Sakshi to sing the Mumbai University song.
सुंदरं मंदिरं शारदाया मुम्बापुरी विश्वविद्यालयम् इदं सुंदरं मंदिरं शारदाया मुम्बापुरी विश्वविद्यालयम् कलाशास्त्र वाणिज्यशाखाधिरूढा अमूढा विमुक्ता विहङ्गा वयम् शृण्वन्तु सर्वे दृढं निश्चयम् शृण्वन्तु सर्वे दृढं निश्चयम् इदं सुन्दरं मन्दिरं शारदाया मुम्बापुरी विश्वविद्यालयम्. सत्यं वदामो धर्मं चरामो नयामो नृणा दुःखभारं लयम् सत्यं वदामो धर्मं चरामो नयामो नृणा दुःखभारं लयम् स्वकार्ये रतानां सदा जागृतानां भवेत् किं भविष्येति तस्मात् भयम् शृण्वन्तु सर्वे दृढं निश्चयम् शृण्वन्तु सर्वे दृढं निश्चयम् इदं सुन्दरं मन्दिरं शारदाया मुम्बापुरी विश्वविद्यालयम्.
Thank you so much Urvashi and Sakshi for performing this lovely song. Now we begin with the inaugural address. It's an immense pleasure and honor to welcome our Honorable Principal, Dr. Sharad Pulari Sir, in this international conference. Dr. Sharad Pulari Sir has a treasure of experience in the academic career. He has 21 years of teaching experience as an associate professor and 8 years of experience as a principal. He has organized 28 conferences and has authored 6 books. His 6 papers have been published in different national and international journals. He has an experience as NSS program officer and as a cultural coordinator. He is awarded as the best teacher from Mumbai University. Dr. Sharad Pulari Sir is a distinguished personality with immense knowledge and holistic vision. He is a remarkable leader and an inspiration for all. I now request Dr. Sharad Pulari Sir to deliver an inaugural address.
Good morning to everyone. On behalf of all the IQAC and the BAMMC department of the Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College, Andheri, Mumbai, everything in between the Tilak Maharashtra University, Pune of Maharashtra, I stand here to offer you a warm welcome for International E-Conference on Significance of Research in Mass Media, which is going to held today on the 8th February 2022. Very warm welcome to the research delegates for this international e-conference. Very warm welcome to the participants. Very warm welcome to the teacher colleagues, dear students, and the convener and the organization team for today's e-conference on the significances of the research in the mass media. Of course, a very warm welcome to the guest of honor, Honorable Dr. Geetali Tilak, the officiating Vice Chancellor of Tilak Maharashtra Vidyapith Pune, and Mrs. Shruti Karia Madam as a chief guest, and Honorable Mrs. Mandira Tagore in capacity of keynote speaker for today's international conference on significance of research in the mass media. So once again, very good morning to all of you, and it's a warm welcome to everyone for this particular event. Mass media encompasses all forms of the mass communication. Mass media encompasses all forms of the mass communication. Mass media and the mass communication can profoundly affect the people psychology as well as the people behavior. Mass media research is the study of information related to the any form of the mass communication. So I repeat, today's international conference is regarding the significance of the research in the mass media. That's why I'm giving a just brief idea regarding to the mass media encompasses the all form of the mass communication. Mass media and mass communication can profoundly affect the people psychology and people behavior. Mass media research is the study of information related to the any form of the mass communication. A thorough media research study helps to understand how one can form or one can frame the news better and understand how one can frame news better and make the news more accessible to your target audience. It helps with the analysis and the composition of the views, news and data. So, I would like to say that a mass media research study helps to understand how one can frame the news better and make the news more accessible to your target audience, which will help to analyze and composition of the views, news and data. Effective mass media communication and effective use of the mass media can be executed by the research in the mass media. I underline, I trace this point The effective mass communication and effective use of the mass media can be executed by the research in the mass media, and there we are. Today's international conference is to find the significance of research in the mass media. Definitely, it will help to apply the mass media for the news more accessible to your target audience. And this news which will apply to the target audience, it will definitely help us to analyze and composition of the views, news, and the data. Definitely. For today's international conference, I feel fortunate to have Honorable Dr. Geetali Tilak Madam, officiating Vice Chancellor of the Tilak Maharashtra Vidyapit, Pune. Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam means a really strong woman with a challenge in the eyes. Madam Vice Chancellor is iconic lady. Madam Vice Chancellor never limit herself. She never limit the others. Honorable Dr. Tilak Madam is a woman with a voice. By definition, a strong woman, and such a strong woman is the associated with today's our international conference, and that is my privilege to welcome Madam Vice Chancellor. For today's international conference, I still feel fortunate to have Honorable Shruti Karia Madam as chief guest. Honorable Shruti Karia Madam is working as a researcher in Space University, New York, in the America. So it is again my privilege for today's international conference. I feel very fortunate to have Honorable Shruti Karia Madam as chief guest for today's international conference. Honorable Shruti Karia Madam is working at present as a researcher in Space University, New York, in America. I feel too fortunate to have Honorable Shruti Karia Madam as chief guest for today's international conference. Her excellence as a researcher in mass media is a pleasure to listen Madam Shruti Karia. She is one of the finest authority in field of research of mass media and mass communication, especially in the social media. We are glad to attend Madam Mandira Tagore as keynote speaker. Mandira Tagore Madam is currently working as digital marketer in Viacom 18 Media of the Mumbai, India. I would like to compliment to Honorable Mandira Tagore Madam for her most stimulating work as actual media person on the ground. I say it once again. I would like to compliment to Honorable Mandira Tagore Madam for her most stimulating work as actual media person on the ground. Execution of the mass media is one of the finest expertise of Honorable Mandira Tagore Madam. Today she will definitely share her great success stories. She will definitely share her great success stories about the ground battle of mass media in the field. I am confident about the Mandira Madam and her presentation for today's international conference. It will draw the audience in and will hold their attention for the next session definitely. For the organization of today's international conference from Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College, Kandivali, Mumbai, I must say lot of thanks to Shri V.K. Singh sir, Chairman of Thakur Education Trust, Mumbai, and Shri Rajesh Singh sir, CEO of Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College. Shri V.K. Singh sir and Shri Rajesh Singh sir Both are the persons who supports this college with every aspect. These are two personalities whose support is solicited and acknowledged for their dedication. I must mention the great things are done by series of the small things brought together. For the great things, that is today's international conference on theme significance of the research in the mass media, the series of the small things brought together by Dr. Amruta Pawar Madam from Thakur Degree College, Mumbai, and Mr. Ajit Khadilkar from the Tilak Maharashtra Vidyapit, Pune. Dr. Amruta Pawar Madam is coordinator of the BAMMC department of Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College, while Ajit Khadikar sir is secretary of Tilak Maharashtra Vidyapit, Pune. It is very fine for this international conference working together of both as the convener is very fine tuned as the team. I must have to congratulate the team of the convener, Dr. Amruta Pawar Madam, as well as Honorable Ajit Sir as a convener for this international conference. When a team of dedicated individuals makes a commitment to act as one, then the sky is the limit for extension of the success. Someone said very good words. I repeat those very best proverb. When a team of the dedicated individual makes a commitment to act as one, then the sky is the limit for the extension of the success. I feeling my feeling is the that great success because for today's international conference, Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College is having a team of dedication. My teacher colleagues of BMMC department are the Duhita Joshi ma'am, Tanvi Limbachia ma'am, Siddhi Parab madam, Shipra Srivastav ma'am. The team of my teacher colleagues collectively dedicated for commitment of this international conference. I may say big thanks and congratulate to the Duhita Joshi madam, Tanvi Limbachia madam, Siddhi Parab madam, and Shipra Srivastav madam for successful organization of today's international conference on significances of research in mass media. It is fact that the right formation, the lifting power of many wings can achieve twice the distance of any bird flying alone. I repeat, it is fact that in the right formation, the lifting power of many wings can achieve the twice the distance of any bird flying alone. It is applicable for today's international conference of mass media. In the right formation of the lifting of power many wings, some of the wings are of the researchers, some of the wings are of the delegates. In these wings of the keynote speaker, wings of the chief guest, wings of the patrons, conveners, co-conveners and organizing team, and they are definitely achieving the twice, thrice, many-fold the distance throughout the process of conference. Once again, warm welcome and wishing the best for great ahead for the today's international conference. Once again, warm welcome to the everyone and thank you very much for everyone.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Now, I would like to introduce our resource person for today, Ms. Shruti Karia ma'am. Shruti Karia ma'am is a risk analyst, financial analyst, and data analyst. She has completed a Master's of Science in Financial Risk and Management from Pace University, New York, Lubin School of Business. She has graduated with distinction from University of Warwick in United Kingdom in Masters of Science in Economics and International Financial Economics. She possesses a rich industrial experience as graduate research assistant in Pace University. She has worked as global account manager with Converse Limited. It's an immense pleasure to have you, ma'am, and I request you to say a few words.
Hello, everyone. Good day. My greetings to everybody present over here today, all the students, the faculty members, the other speakers that we have today. It's a pleasure to come here and speak to all of you. I am Shruti Karya and I'm currently residing in New York, USA. I am currently pursuing my master's in financial risk management from Pace University, that is in New York. And just before this, I completed my master's from University of Warwick in the UK, and that was in economics and finance. And prior to that, I completed my chartered accountancy and MCOM from India. Currently, I am working as an assistant researcher at Pace University with a professor, and the topic of my research is does financial access improve health outcomes? It's complicated, but we're getting there. And before this, I've had the opportunities of working in a startup as well as a big MNC such as KPMG for 3 years. It's been a good journey till now, but things like being being invited at such conferences to be one of the main speakers is what keeps me motivated. And I would really like to take this opportunity to thank Thakur College and the faculty who invited me to be a part of this conference, this event. And it's completely my pleasure to be here and come on a topic that is of real importance in today's time. I being in the research fraternity, I really think that it's our responsibility to give research the importance that it needs, because for a national growth or a global growth and improvement, research is what is going to take us ahead. Innovation comes from research, improvement comes from research. So I'm glad that a lot of people here today are in the research fraternity, are adding to our fraternity, and I would like to see a lot of faces continue this ahead, just like I plan to do myself. So thank you so much for having this conference. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's my pleasure. Enough said about myself. I am glad that I can speak on such an important topic, that is the significance of research in mass and media. Now, it sounds complicated. We know that mass media was introduced in the 1800s, and we see that since it's there from such a long time, why do we need research now? I'm sure the growth that it has seen in all these years has been because of research. Then why still do we need to talk about it? Why is this still a very important topic? And just so that we can make it better, I would like to break this topic down and start with what exactly we think is mass media. We know that mass media is all about using various technologies to communicate to a mass audience at the same time. Now, since it's there from a lot of years, we know how it uses technical and institutional methods of production and distribution of information, and how the use of one-to-many form of communication took everybody by awe those years ago. And now that is our main means of communication in today's world. We do not want one-to-one information. We always feel the most better and easier form of communication would be one-to-many, and most of us are using that today. When mass media was introduced, of course, its positive effects were seen in the industry very quickly. And some common ones were that, it kind of gave voice to the voiceless, and it helped spread news and information as quickly as possible. It spurred the businesses and gave them what they wanted, and at the same time, it kept everybody connected. Experts in the industry even said that mass media had become the most powerful entity on this planet. So of course, after hearing that, people kind of understood its benefits and what a boon that it has been to the industry. Because if experts have such an opinion about it, we definitely agree to what they're trying to say, right? However, it of course comes with its negative effects as well. And some of the negative effects that were very, very visible were that it was empowering the already powerful people. It was even being used to spread misinformation and hate. But the biggest disadvantage of what people faced was it took over personal connections. Now, as a human, it is human tendency to always see the negatives in something rather than its positive, which led to thinking that why did we need this? Why did we need mass media when information was already being passed on before that as well? Why was there a need for such a massive change in the system, So the easy answer was, of course, because it's easier and faster to communicate information rather than reaching out to individuals, But when you do anything on a mass level, don't you think that you miss individuality out of it? If you go to a designer and make a costume, it's going to be individual as per your needs. But if you go to a store and buy the same from there, it's according to their likes. It's available in thousands of sizes, and it can be worn by you as well as me and by somebody else also, because we all have different sizes. So when anything is done at a mass level, of course individuality is left out of it. And as seen in one of the negative effects of mass media, it said that it took over personal connections. The concept of customization, giving every consumer what it needs, increasing the value of information passed on, kind of lost its way as more and more mass media was being used. And of course, do you think that the information which is useful to me is going to be equally useful to you as well, or vice versa? No, right? Then why is mass media still the best form of communication? And why is it still appreciated? And why are we researching into it more to improve it? It's all because it's tracking down to the benefits that it has been carrying on since years. It is said that mass media has helped to provide educational opportunities in many countries, including India ourselves, just as a way that it helped bridge the language barrier gap through the use of radio stations where information is passed on in regional languages. In some countries, health awareness and information were passed on through the use of radio broadcast, which encouraged people to make use of that information. And as a result, in Burkina Faso, it has saved thousands of lives because people got information about diseases through the radio station. People who lived in remote areas were even able to access information and prevent and protect themselves from something that was happening far away just because of the use of mass media. A study conducted in the state of Rajasthan as well said that 49.23% of people strongly agreed that mass media was the best and the most important tool in creating health awareness and for health communication. In one more example would be, in Nigeria, it is said that mass media plays a very positive role in family planning. Now, this is something odd that we hear, but researchers have found evidence that women who have more exposure to mass media have understood the benefits of using contraceptives, have understood the benefits of having small families, and thus this influences their family planning. Now, for poor countries, small countries, all of these things matter a lot, where we understand that mass media has really, really helped everybody. And even in our country, you take a live example. Do you think that you would know about a case of domestic injustice or injustice against women or the lack of basic necessities in small towns by sitting in big metropolitan cities? How would you have helped them raise their voices and fight against these things? We talk about liberalization, we talk about equality. It's we know about a rape case that has happened in a really, really small town and the entire country has come together to fight against it. How did you get this information? It's of course not possible without the use of mass media. And that is why we say that mass media plays a very, very major role in taking care of public interest and even bringing social issues to life. And so as we understand the widespread role of mass media globally, we need to understand and analyze how to make the best use of the same in order to avoid the spread of misinformation, to keep its cons to limited as possible, and to exploit its pros to the fullest. all this said, we need to know how do we achieve this. How is it possible to use its benefits, its advantages to the fullest? How do we improve it over the years? And one simple answer to this is research. You guys being in research, we all know that in simple terms, it's basically collection, organization, and analysis of information to increase the understanding of a particular topic. It's about finding the right data, arranging the data in a way that is simple to understand, simple to read, and that we can use it for decision making. And knowing how important it is for decision making, let's talk about the need of research in various fields of mass media, starting with the most powerful forms of mass media, which is advertising. We know that advertising is basically used to demonstrate the features of a product or services to be sold in the market, and in order to create awareness of that product and the demand for the same. Now, in a generation where television and internet is the strongest way of communication and influencing our decisions, advertising becomes one of the most important tools. It is said that it is used to create awareness and demand for a product. Isn't it important to know that if that advertisement is actually targeting the right audience, and whether the message that it is sending would be well received and accepted by the audience in the right spirit? And don't they need to analyze whether the advertising campaign is actually effective? Now, how will a company find answers to these questions? How do they know who is the right audience and whether the message is accurate and whether the campaign is being effective? Do you think that every product is useful to everybody, or every advertisement needs to be audienced to everybody? I don't think so. Now, you imagine being an advertisement of a new toy being displayed in a corporate office, or the advertisement for a office bag being put up outside a school. Those are just waste of resources. Those ads, they're not going to make sense, right? And hence research plays an extremely important part of that industry. And hence they came up with a term called advertising research, which basically explains what research is in the field of advertisement and its significance. It is needed in order to determine the effectiveness of an ad campaign and to see whether or not the return on investment will be achieved or no. Now, this of course is easier said than done, and hence let's break down this into four main areas. And these major four areas being, one is product appeal. Now, this is about understanding the attitude of the target group towards the product and towards the brand in order to determine what kind of an investment is needed to be done on the ad. Is it a new product? Is it an already established product? Is it an update on the earlier version? Because all of these ads require different kind of investment. We need to know if the ad needs to be aggressive, it needs to be pushy, or it just needs to be subtle because the product is already established in the market. And hence making that decision without a back research about the product appeal would not be a wise call. The second most important thing here, the area would be advertising message. The product appeal will help us understand and determine the sensitivity of the content to be used and the theme behind the message. Should it, as I said, should it be aggressive? Should it be pushy? Should it be just informative? Should it be convincing? Does it need to be a formal? Does it need to be a friendly ad? And this is so important because studies have actually found that inappropriate content in ads have led to negative effects on people's mind about the product, and it in turn has affected the demand of the product, and companies have actually faced a loss because of it. This is actually not theory. This has actually happened. You all would know the Fair and Lovely ad fiasco, right? It was not well appreciated and not well received by the Indian audience as to why are we promoting that female need to be fair in order to be beautiful, right? And the company actually faced a 43% downside in its sales demand when the fiasco was going on. And as soon as you realized that, they changed the messaging, they changed the name of the product itself to Glow and Lovely rather than Fair and Lovely. And why was this happening? It was because their product appeal the attitude of the people towards the product, as well as their messaging was not correct. And messaging is really important because it kind of targets the feelings of an individual. And in India especially, where sensitivity, where human emotions are actually considered so much, ads need to make sure that it has targeted the hearts of the audience in a way that it keeps on reminding them of the product. The best advertisement of all time in India still remains the Amul Manthan ad. I don't know how many of you have seen it or how many of you remember. It's an ad about where they show women carrying milk pots on their head through the village, and they're celebrating their financial independence of working on their own with an iconic song. Why is this in people's mind till date? It's because the message was so sensitive that it touched the entire nation's hearts. And your people are extremely reactive and extremely loud about showing their emotions. So for Amul, it was a really, really big win that till date we know that we don't have to think about any other company when it comes to dairy. And the next important aspect to take care would be the advertising media selection. This is pretty easy for us to understand because we live in an age of social media, right? We are a part of a generation where newspapers, magazines, and radio stations have lost their importance. I mean, if you want the details and features of a product, are you going to wait that it will be on the television where you'll get to know, or you're going to directly surf the internet, right? And hence, understanding who the audience is and then finalizing the media for the same is of real crucial importance here. And it's common sense, like if I want to sell a product to an elderly person, I'm probably going to make sure that I'm putting it in the newspapers or in the televisions or maybe radio. But if my target audience is the middle-aged people, probably like us, I'm definitely going to push it on social media, and I'm going to put my money on social media rather than putting it in the newspapers, right? I mean, who reads newspapers from our generation? We directly go to the social media for news as well, So understanding who the audience is, where they are going to be spending most of their time to get information, and then putting money to advertise in that section is of real importance, in order to make sure that my investment is not going to go worthless. And it also helps in saving money because the ad is at the right place. And the last main component of advertising research would be advertising effectiveness research. We want to make sure that the ROI has been achieved, and understanding whether the ad will achieve its goal in creating the expected demand and awareness about the product is crucial. This kind of research involves a lot of pre-action research as well as post-action research. Now, what is pre-action research? Pre-action research is the research that I need to do before my ad is out in the market. And that research is basically the first 3 points that we spoke about, about the product appeal and the right kind of messaging and the right kind of media that I'm going to use to post my ads on. And then there is post-action research. Now, what is post-action research? It's basically the surveys that the companies expect us to do, Whenever you order anything online, there's always a survey that follows it, and the main answers they want to know is, how did you like the product? Do you think it was worth your money? And are there any comments? And not only online, if you buy something of a high value from a store as well, they definitely want to know your feedback on the same. Why? Do you think it's free for them? No. The surveys that they're getting from you, there are analysts behind the same who are going through everything, forming charts, forming numbers as to how many people are happy with the product, how many are not, what do people think about it. This forms a part of their post-action research in order to make sure if the ad campaign has gotten them where they wanted to be. Now, all this said, we understand how crucial research is for advertising, and in order to make the best use of it and getting the expected ROI, research will always be an important part of advertising. And when we spoke about analyzing all these aspects of advertising research, The first thing, if you notice, that we focused on was the consumer behavior or the attitude of the consumers towards the product. Now, why is this of such importance out of all the others that we discussed? Why is research a crucial part in identifying consumer behavior? To simply understand this, let's just ask a few questions to ourselves. Who is the recipient of the information? Who is expected to react or create a demand or consider the information that is being passed on? Who is it? It's the audience. Hence, the entire structure and strategy for the ad needs to be around the attitude, the acceptance, and the behavior of the consumer. And hence, in strategy formation, researching into the understanding and identifying consumer behavior becomes really essential. This research also provides more depth information about the needs, the wants, the expectations of the consumers. And having done an effective research in this area would help bring the businesses a lot of business, attracts clients, and which in turn would lead to better profits, which is exactly what the business really wants. Now, let me talk about a very real scenario. We discussed how when you purchase something online or of a very high value from a store, they make us fill those survey forms. As I told you, it's a part of their post-action research. Why are the answers to these research so important to the company? It's basically to understand if the consumer's attitude towards the product is right and it's beneficial for the company, and whether any improvements are needed. And all this is basically done just to make sure that the investment is being made at the right place and that the sales are increasing, and knowing that the level of consumer acceptance that the company has. It all boils down to increasing the profits and company's value. These survey tactics are nothing but research on the part of the company, which helps them in reducing marketing cost and efforts and bringing in more sales and profits. When you know that a company cares about your opinion, and if they want to know if your purchase was worth and if there are any improvements needed, you always form an affection towards that company, knowing that it's kind of caring of what you need, right? So all of this helps them in retaining their existing customers as well as gaining new customers at the same time, which all actually sums up to be the main motive of any business in functioning, right? And hence, research is a very essential and crucial step in identifying a customer behavior. Now, having talked so much about marketing and advertising, we really cannot ignore the main form of marketing that is used today, which is the digital marketing. It's basically just a component of marketing that uses the internet and online-based technologies to promote products and services. Now, in this area of marketing, one thing that has come to the notice of every company or everybody into the marketing industry and the advertising industry is that marketing is not as expensive as it used to be, and it has also become way more interactive than it used to be. When you were scrolling through your social media platforms and when you see advertisements, you only see the advertisements that you like. You can always choose to ignore the ones that are not useful to you or that you don't like, or if you like an advertisement and if you want more details, you can always view the ad again and again by scrolling back on it. There are ways that you can directly talk to the customer service person or someone who can give you more details, right? So in a way, this platform has made advertising way more interactive than it used to be, right? When an ad is on television or in the magazine or in the newspaper, we don't really come to know how many people have actually viewed it, how many people have actually read it, and how many people have actually accepted it, which is completely opposite to what happens on the digital marketing platform. As soon as your ad is on a digital marketing platform, you constantly keep on getting stats as to how many, the number of views that it has got, how many people have directed it to the website and have gone to your website to see or get further details, how many people have liked it, how many people have disliked it. Why is this of so much importance? Because this kind of helps you understand if the ad is in the right direction at a very, very early stage. And this can even help you calculate the return on investment at a very initial stage. which is definitely not happening on the conventional form of advertisements, that is on a television, right? It's because when you put your ad on a digital platform, and if you realize that it's not attracted the number of views that you wanted, or it's not gotten the attraction that you expected, you can always pull it down, change it, and put a new one within a day's time. This helps you save the marketing cost on the previous ad that was not working, and it helps you improve at a very, very early stage, which is definitely not possible on the ads that come on television. If a huge company has invested in a very big celebrity to be a part of their advertisement and has put in a lot of money, efforts, and time to put an ad on television, they kind of have to wait months and months to see what kind of an impact the ad has had. Is it bringing in sales or is it not? However, this is because if you see an ad today, you're not immediately going to act on it tomorrow, right? And it's the same for the company. If they've invested lakhs and lakhs of rupees in getting a celebrity to promote their product, they can't just discard the ad within a week's time saying that, no, really sorry, we don't see the kind of sales we expected. They have to anticipate. They just have to keep on waiting for months to see if that ad has finally made it to the hearts of people and has created the demand that was expected, And but other than all of this, one of the biggest advantages of having your advertisement on social media is that in the transformation where every generation is getting on social media, it's just going to get much more visibility, right? And one of the biggest advantage of digital media also remains customization. Now, when you see ads being displayed on your social media networks or their websites, you kind of see that they change very frequently. Be it their font, be it their themes, be it their backgrounds, everything change very frequently, sometimes even on a weekly basis, which is completely opposite to what happens in the conventional form of marketing and advertising. Why is this important? The whole reason behind the success of digital marketing is customization, is because there has been a lot of research on the back end that helps companies understand what the consumers want to see and what they want to hear today. Now, for instance, in the month of December, you see that all the advertisements will have a Christmassy theme. And maybe in the month of November, you see that the advertisements will be all full of lights and Diwali theme, right? It's because we people have emotions. We are always connected to festivities. We are always connected to what currently is happening in the country. So when you see something related to that, you always kind of want to wait, read, see how beautifully it is made, see what content it has got, And so this always happens. Why do you think that products are always promoted in a much cooler way in the month of April and May rather than in December? Because they want to show how you can feel maybe the cool side of a product in such a heat, and beat the heat in the months of April and May rather than in December, right? So this is all about customization, where digital marketing plays a really important role, and conventional form of advertisements kind of take a step back because of the money that they have invested in ads. They can't be changing it frequently, and this all is easier, this all is convenient, because digital ads and contents are very easy to create, update, and release. Stats say that an event that takes place in a country that has gotten the attraction of everybody, for example, a death of a known personnel, or the happy occasion in a celebrity's life, or any event of social justice, 94% of the time it appears on digital media advertisements on the very same day. Today in the morning, if you see some social injustice, if you hear some social injustice event that is taking place in a small town, digital contents will be created, updated in a way that will be on the media on the same day. Now, do you think that's possible for an ad in the newspaper or a television? No. It at least takes 24 to 48 hours for them to grasp that place and to update the content, which is not the case in case of digital marketing. And hence, digital marketing for its success just doesn't focus on execution. The main area where money and time is invested is the research about consumer behavior, consumer likes, real life, real time events, and customization. And this form of media for its success highly relies on research. Now, let's come out of advertising and promotion for a while, and let's talk about promoting stories, that is, filmmaking. As easy as it is to watch a movie for 2 hours and to appreciate it or criticize it, we kind of understand how equally tough it is for them to make one. There is an enormous amount of investment that goes behind a movie, and it is not a wise decision to have put in so much money behind something without good research. The main focus of research in any field is to put the money where it is going to be worth it, where the investor is going to get a good ROI, and where it adds value to the society. These reasons equally apply to filmmaking as well. A film without good background research is like playing darts in the blind, where there is no surety about hitting the target. Just to give an example, how would it be if an action movie is made with Paresh Rawal in it? No offense, that actor can pull off any role, but if I know a Paresh Rawal movie is releasing, I am hoping that it is his comedy, because that is what he's loved for. So probably we don't really know how his action movie would be accepted and whether it would be an equal hit or no, right? So there has to be good amount of research that goes behind what the audience wants to see, basically. And the main point of research in filmmaking also remains the cost reduction and technology improvement. Now, we know how that industry is constantly improving, where there are new animations, new VRX effects, and new cameras that come in on a daily basis. We see, if you see a movie that was made in 2010 and that's made in 2020, you completely see the difference in its clarity, in the colors that we see on the screen, everything. So that's kind of the technology improvement that we're talking about here. And using the latest animation techniques, identifying the audience appealing concepts, finding the best instruments and technologies in local and international markets becomes of utmost importance in reducing cost, staying in trend, and delivering exactly what the audience wants to see. Because after all, that entire industry's revenues are based on the likes and dislikes of the audience, right? And hence delivering such high standard of performance with best yet the most cost effective techniques is of utmost importance, and that definitely requires extensive research. And everything that we've talked till now in short talks about the significance of research in various forms of mass media, and that research mainly focuses on understanding the audience, their preferences, the relative reactions that something is supposed to have, the costing techniques. In short, all of this sums up as the market research around a particular industry. And hence the term market research is of real importance in all industries nowadays, especially in the ones that are in their growing phase. Because market research is exactly what needs to happen before decision making. So growing industries, when they have to make important decisions, like as to how their growth needs to happen and all, it requires research. And as we understand, it is an organized effort to just gather information around the target market and the target audience. It is one of the most important components of business strategy. And as we correctly said, that it's kind of become the base of decision making in every industry. It also is a major factor when it comes to maintaining competitiveness and remaining in the market. Research shows that companies who spend more on research and development rather than on packaging and marketing have more satisfied customers in the market and have better financial results for sure. And this is obvious because with the research that is done, they have definitely made a product or created a service on understanding the needs and expectations of the consumers, which helps them increase sales, which helps them increase their volume. And the research also reveals the most cost-effective materials, which helps them reduce the cost as well. Hence, common understanding that it definitely is going to help them boost up their profits. And market research not only helps with strategy formation, it also helps with strategy diversion. Now, many a times what happens is, even for an established company, to be honest, when you do a market research, you kind of understand that the strategy that is currently in place is not going to be effective for the recent future, and this definitely possesses a good amount of threat to a company, and it is of high risk to an organization. Ignoring the recent developments in the market would definitely have a negative impact on the financials of a company. Hence, market research helps in identifying the potential risks, evaluating those risks, developing an approach towards the risk, and trying to mitigate the risk before it actually hits the companies. Hence, research also becomes a crucial tool in risk management as well. And the best way to exploit the benefits of market risk is to focus on its main component, which we have definitely understood is the consumer risk, is the consumer research. And when something good happens to us, we kind of say that, oh, I was just there at the right time, at the right place to have gotten this opportunity. The intention behind consumer research is the same. It is to have promote something at the right place at the right time, but mainly to the right audience. The recipient of the information is always the most important element in the entire process, and hence it becomes inevitable to conduct a consumer research before anything. We spoke about various forms of mass media above, and we saw that how audience is at the center of all these dartboards. And why is that so? Because simply it's the audience who's going to be creating a reaction in the market, who is going to be using the information that is passed on, who is going to create a demand, and who is going to create profits for the organization. And if they are kind of displeased, or if they do not like a product or a service, it is not according, and if the service is not according to their expectation, it kind of becomes difficult for an organization to sell it, and hence in the future survive in the market as well. So the main motive of any organization remains customer satisfaction, and hence research does remain one of the most important tools in growing an organization's value, by its advertising, by the use of its digital media, be it promoting a concept or an idea through filmmaking, where market research, consumer research, all of it plays an important part to entirely improve and push the mass media industry on and on. And coming towards the end, talking about these topics is of real importance, because there are not a lot of papers that are written on it, and hence whatever we've spoken about today does not really have numbers behind it to support the same. When you talk about research in another field, there are definitely numbers supporting that, 58% this has increased, so we know that this has created demand, or this has not. It's not the same in our field, in the field that we're talking about today. And hence research from young minds like yours is of real importance, so that there can be evidence behind the theories that we have about how important and how significant research is in mass media. Numbers is what will give facts, will make people believe in it, will make people know the importance of research. And hence I am glad that so many of you have thought about this, have thought about giving research the place that it deserves in the mass media field. And I hope that the papers come out to be very, very convincing. And that's all. I really hope that I did not take much of your time today. I would really, really thank everybody to take the time out to come here today, and wishing everybody all the very best for the future. And again, thanking Thakur College for giving me this opportunity to have come here and speak about this topic and share my experience and share my thoughts about what I feel. Have a good day, everybody. Stay safe and good luck.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Ms. Mandira Tagore ma'am. Ms. Mandira Tagore ma'am is currently an assistant manager in Viacom 18. She is an accomplished professional with 8 years of experience in digital media industry, which includes 2.6 years in Viacom 18, spearheading multifunctional roles encompassing digital licensing and partnerships, content strategy and execution for YouTube and Facebook, YouTube channel management, YouTube content performance, analysis, driving revenue from YouTube and Facebook, financial reporting, outsourced agency management, partner management, internal team management, and training. I request you, ma'am, to say a few words.
Hello friends, my name is Mandira Thakur and I'm going to talk about the significance of research in mass media. Research is the most important and significant part of acquiring knowledge. It is an essential tool to gather facts, opinion and information pertaining to a specified problem, situation or opportunity. Research in media focuses on the communication process and examines the relationships among the media organizations and the target audience. Media research focus is on the social and psychological aspects and effects of the different mass media. Its objective is to get information pertaining to different medium on the society, the content and presentation of information or the effectiveness of the programs to the audience, etc. Therefore, mass media have come to depend on research results for all the major decisions they make. The increased demand for information has created a need for research in mass media. So what exactly is the significance of research? Let us find out in 4 steps. Number 1. Media research discovers the trends and brings out useful information in the field of mass media and communication. Number 2. Media research helps in making decisions with respect to the composition and analysis of news, views, and information. Number 3. Research brings objectivity and accuracy in news reporting. A good story is always the outcome of research and investigation. Number 4. Media research is also used in conducting surveys, public polls, advertising, and public-related campaigns. The current media industry uses different types of research such as audience research, market research, and production research. Audience research is for the broadcasting companies to find out information about the audience. This can be done by findings of the demographic information of the viewers, whose purpose is to find out the target audience. The media industry makes use of a lot of production research in many of its programmings, and the purpose of production research can be used to determine what can be talked about and what should be refrained from airing. Media industry uses primary data and secondary data. Primary data is normally collected from the first source like a focus group, which is collected to find out about the viewing audience. Secondary data can be found by using the internet and other information sources. There isn't any area in the mass media that doesn't conduct or use research. Research is the only area in mass media that relates it to everything. Every time we come up with a who, what, when, where, why, how question, we have developed an investigative question. For example, why do people choose to watch one television program over another? How internet affected readership of newspaper? When is the best time to broadcast a youth-related program? Etc. Research helps provide answer to these questions. Most importantly, it is a valid way of obtaining accurate information. Now let us understand the importance of consumer research in mass media. Consumer research is a part of market research in which inclination, motivation, and purchase behavior of the target audience are identified. It uses research techniques to provide systematic information about what customers need. Using this information, brands can make changes in their products and services, making them more customer-centric, thereby increasing customer satisfaction. This in turn helps in boosting their business. Let us talk about the importance of consumer research. Launching a product in market or offering a new customer service can be quite an exciting time for a brand. However, there are a lot of aspects that need to be taken into consideration while a brand has something new to offer to the customers. Here is where consumer research plays a pivotal role. The importance of consumer research cannot be emphasized more. Following points summarize the importance of consumer research. Number 1. To understand market readiness. However good a product or service may be, consumers have to be ready to accept it. Creating a product requires investments, which in return expect ROI from product or service purchases. However, if a market is mature enough to accept this utility, it has a low chance of succeeding by tapping into market potential. Therefore, before launching a product or service, organizations need to conduct consumer research to understand if people are ready to spend on the utility it provides. Number 2. Identify target audience. By conducting consumer research, brands and organizations can understand their target market based on geographic segmentation and know who exactly is interested in buying their products. According to the data or feedback received from the consumer research, brands can even customize their marketing and branding campaigns to better appeal to the specific customer segment. Number 3. Product or service update through feedback. Conducting consumer research provides valuable feedback from customers about the attributes and features of the product or service. This feedback enables organizations to understand consumer perception and provide a more suitable solution based on actual market needs, which helps them tweak their offering to perfection. Now, let us talk about the need of research in digital marketing. The internet has revolutionized businesses all over the world. Every single operational element of business has been affected by it. Marketing too has not been left untouched, as we see it moving over from its conventional form to the digital marketing route. However, market research still and will never be out of fashion. Keeping their brands relevant has never been as daunting a task for every marketer in an ever-growing marketing arena than in today's times of digital market. It is easy to fall into the trap of spreading oneself too thin in your efforts because of your need to address all the people every time in every part of the world. Any business would want to know where its customers spend time, what triggers them to buy, and what holds value to them. Consumer research answers all these questions and corrects our hypothesis that we apply about what our consumers want from our brand of product and services. Selling today has become more personalized in practice. Therefore, market research and analysis have turned inseparable and vital elements of digital strategy. Conducting market research was time-consuming, not to mention expensive too. But it was not today. Market research from pen and paper surveys one-on-one interviews and focus group discussions has evolved into something more mobile, instant and convenient. All thanks to the internet. Widespread usage of smartphones facilitates mobile market research to ask questions, distribute polls and analyze product usage. Social media too enables market research in collecting and analyzing millions of posts across various social networking platforms, enabling you to find newer trends and draw up more information about customers. The easiest way to conduct digital marketing research for your business can be summarized in answering the following few questions. Number 1. Who are your customers? Identify them in terms of age, occupation, income, lifestyle, education, attainment, etc. Number 2. Where do they live? Identify where they live. It may be rural or urban. Number 3. What do they buy now? Identify their buying habits relating to the product and service, including quantity they buy and for how much they honor suppliers' collection. Number 4. Why do they buy? Puzzle best solved by customer's mind only. Number 5. What is the right platform? Identify the right platform which they most engage with. Social media optimization could be the key. Example: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Now, let us find out how can market research improve digital marketing. If you want to promote your brand digitally, the power of market research just cannot be ignored. Research and digital marketing complement each other to adopt the best ways to monitor, collect, analyze, and interpret data to boost business understanding of their target markets and effectively customizing their strategy. Consumer research is what keeps your business even truer to its cause. It identifies your key areas of action so that you take guided steps to advance your brand and ultimately create more customers. Moving on to another interesting topic called TRP. We all must have come across this term, but what do you mean by TRP? Let us talk about it. TRP stands for Television Rating Point. TRP of any channel or program depends upon the program that is displayed. The TRP rate is one on which the TRP of a TV channel is calculated. These numbers are treated as a sample from the overall TV owners in different geographical and demographic sectors. TRP enables advertisers and investors to understand the mood of the people. According to the TRP of a TV channel or a TV program, advertisers decide where to display their advertisements and investors will decide about the investment of their money. Now let us understand how TRP is calculated. TRP is calculated by the Indian agency, the Broadcast Audience Research Council, using barometers. The BARC releases weekly TRP rankings every Thursday, ranking all the TV channels and TV programs. BARC has installed barometers in over 45,000 impaneled households. In this way, some 1,000 viewers are surveyed in the form of justice and sampling. These gadgets record data about the channel or program watched by the family members or selected people. This method is called the people meters. Another method is known as picture matching, where the people meter records a small portion of the picture that is being watched on the TV. This data is collected from a set of homes in the form of pictures and later on is analyzed to calculate TRPs. So here I would like to conclude today's topic, that is importance of research in mass media.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, we announce a short lunch break, and after that break, there will be a technical session where delegates will present their research papers. Thank you so much.